Okay, hi guys. Let's just start with how did you guys get started in the music industry?
Tiago.
Yeah,
We all grew up around music. In Mozambique, we all individually played in different like garage bands and as students, as kids, and we all at different times came up to Joburg to further our education, and we hooked up. We had never played together as a group before, and we started performing. That was a 1999, 2000, yeah. 2000, and sort of started getting serious after that, and 340 Mil was formed in 2000.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you guys are originally from Mozambique. What kind of brought you to South Africa?
what brought us to South Africa?
Yeah.
Like Pedro said, we came here to study, to further our studies from high school, university, and then we created the band, basically.
The band basically comes from a lecture that I normally like to call study avoidance 101. And the band, in the beginning we were studying this much, playing this much, finding every gap to play music, and then eventually we started playing more and more, studying less and less and less, and eventually we weren't studying anymore, we were just making music.
You guys aren't really a jazz band, so to speak. So how come you think you were selected to play here at the Jazz Festival?
So I think we know the organizers quite well and they love our music. Just to start, Cape Town also is a good place for us. People love our music. Definitely we're not a jazz band, but we have a certain extent. We have a certain extent of improvisation in the music, and that's what makes us, a bit fluid with the jazz situation. We don't play swing or funk, but there's lots of improvisation in our music, and that takes us there.
Not only that, but the Jazz Festival as well. I think they cater as well, not only for the jazz, but also for the alternative. I think that's our case. Sweet.
Yeah, there's I suppose we're the dark side of jazz, where we're like in it. If you take our music, the technical side of it, there are jazz elements taken from the definition of jazz, which, like Paulo says, the ability to improvise, and the fact that every time we go on stage, everything is kind of fluid, and even though we do have a certain degree of pop into our music, that comes mostly from the way that we write the music. We make sure that the music has a catchy chorus, but all in between, all the things that take us there aren't necessarily jazz, but they take from jazz music and what the jazz musicians have been doing for the last century.
Is this your first time playing at the Jazz Festival?
This is our second time. We performed the first time in 2005, and it's great to be called back. I mean, I still maintain that it's probably the biggest music event in the country, and the most prestigious as well. And it's great to be able to be doing it for the second time.
And I guess the 10 years is also a celebration, you know what I mean? So they've selected us, for a certain reason, and I guess we're happy to be here.
We're pretty popular in Cape Town. I think that's one of the main reasons. At the end of the day, the festival wants to sell seats, and 340 Mil has a buzz within Cape Town. That's where the festival is at, and that's a band that they felt that they had to put in to kind of attract more people, and it's also the type of people that they want to attract. This festival for the last couple of years, they've made a definite decision to make the festival not to make the festival about like jazz cats, about people who just love jazz and come and listen to jazz solos. They also want to get people, young people, involved in the same way that I come to play at the jazz, and then I end up watching other bands who are fully jazz bands, and I end up discovering a little bit more of jazz. I think the organizers also want to do that. They want to get people who are into jazz, they want to try and get them into other things like hip hop or dub reggae or Afro music.
Are there any other like noticeable differences, like this year being the 10th? Do you think it's like the best so far? Are there noticeable improvements?
I think definitely the lineup through the last 3 jazz festivals is the very best for me personally. I think they have a good selection of groups. They managed to bring from not even jazz, from electro, like bands like Goldfish and La Palma, to hip hop, to jazz, to real experimental South African jazz bands like Carlo Mombelli, you know what I mean? Things that people never really got to see it in the previous years, you know what I mean?
Traditional stuff,
Yeah,
Philip Tabane.
Yeah, Philip
well.
Tabane, and it's really great.
There's a good mix.
Yeah.
I think the first couple of festivals, the furthest away from jazz that they went was live hip hop, and now there's even bands who are playing something closer to like rock music, which is cool.
Are there any like particular bands that you're excited to be here with and see, or like people who have influenced you?
The Prisoners of Strange, definitely. The Robert Glasper Experiment
That was
last
a
night.
good discovery.
That was a good discovery. That was probably one of the best bands. I've been to 3 Cape Town jazz festivals. That was probably one of the best bands I've seen. It was one of the best surprises. And coming back to that, having all these bands here, like I know probably 4 or 5 of the names here, but I'm gonna go home knowing like 10 or 15 other bands.
So from here, what are the rest of the plans for 2009?
Well, we've just released our second album called Sorry for the Delay, and I think this year is going to be about trying to get the maximum amount of exposure for that, and getting it out there, playing it live especially, and sort of seeing how the songs will evolve, because I think the true nature of 340mm is that we're a live band, and we like to keep everything we do live fresh. So I mean, the songs have been recorded, and we sort of take them from there and sort of begin this journey with them and see how they evolve and how they end up. So I think that's going to be cool. It's going to be nice to be able to do that, and also tour with the album locally, and hopefully maybe take it beyond these borders.
There's also a remix album that we want to at least have a definite plan for. We might not release it this year, but we'll definitely know what tracks are going to go on the album. Basically, what we're going to do, we're going to put our separates. We're going to limit all the remixes to songs from this new album, and we're going to make available separates to like friends and people from South Africa, from Mozambique, and overseas. If I get a call from someone who I respect, and he says, I want to remix Lesson 1, I send them the separates. What we want to do as well, and we're actually in the process of doing, we're going to have a competition where we're going to choose 2 songs, and we're going to put all the separates on a website, and anyone can get the separates and remix, and then they submit, and we'll listen to all the tracks, and the 2 best tracks are going to end up in the album, with alongside some of the best, some of our favorite South African and international music producers.
Last one. What advice would you give to aspiring South African acts who, like, say they're aspiring to play at the jazz festival one day? Like, what advice would you give them to reach that goal?
I think number 1 is to be persistent. You gotta practice, you gotta play your music, you gotta believe in what you do, you know what I mean? Because if you don't believe in that, you won't put that across to people that are listening to you. But most of it is just being persistent. My side, you know what I mean? I guess the other guys had suggestions. It's, you know, nail it until you're there.
Patience. I don't know, huh? Expect no money at all for the first couple of years.
Live off your parents.
Live off your parents. Have a lot of love for the music. Maybe you can crack it. It's a big industry.
And do your thing. I think especially a festival like this appreciates bands that do their own thing. Like find the sound, nurture that sound, explore that sound, but make it yours. Make it something. Make it something that other people listen to it and say, this sounds like 340 mil, or this sounds like. Find your own sound and nurture it.
Another step in the wrong direction. Bad choice with the best intention.